Kerplunk Media here. Hi guys, it's my new 2021 intro. New year, new me. So this is the top 5 4K releases of 2020. Now that the year's over, we can look back on it fondly and think of all the great times we had. So this is the first, my first pick. This is number 5. And I know immediately everybody who hates Disney Star Wars is like, fuck you, suck my dick. But I think that this 4K looked really, really great. I do think that this is the weakest of the 3 Disney Star Wars films. I think that if in The Last Jedi, spoilers, but you know, if you're watching this video, who cares? I think in The Last Jedi, they should have had Rey and Kylo Ren both be bad and team up, and then have Luke Skywalker go beat their asses, and that should have been what this movie is. But I'm not really mad at how it turned out. I think it's really stupid what they did with Palpatine and bringing him back. But at the same time, it's Star Wars and it's always been kind of stupid. So, you know, who am I to say? If you're a diehard Star Wars fan, maybe it's time to get over yourself and admit that they're just movies and we can all have fun. But this is great packaging, movie aside, controversial hot takes aside. Look at that. This is the Target exclusive 4K edition, and I picked this as my number 5 because this movie, even though it's a big, effects-driven, crazy-ass movie, most of it was filmed on actual film. They just digitally did all the CGI and stuff, but so it's filmed on film, so it looks really, really good in 4K. The image is really, really strong. The audio, fucking priceless. And the special features, I don't know about the standard edition, but on this Target edition, I know there is so many special features. There's literally like a 3-hour making of documentary that honestly makes you appreciate what they did with this movie a lot more. Because when I got out of it from the theaters, I was like, oh yeah, it was good, but like they did a lot of dumb stuff with Star Wars. And like, I'm the type of person, I'm really forgiving of Star Wars. Like, you can really screw with the lore, and I'll be like, I don't agree with it, but I like how that looked. So this was a good movie in my opinion, and a really, really good looking disc. Yeah, that's my hot take on Star Wars. I probably lost all my subscribers by saying that, because everybody hates Star Wars nowadays. This is my number 4 pick, Schwarzenegger Total Recall. Movie looks goddamn stunning in 4K. Beautiful image quality, especially when you compare it to the old Blu-ray that we got. The old Blu-ray just straight took a shit in our lap and told us to be cool with it. And I didn't appreciate that. But this one was really nice. There's no pooping involved. It was just a great package, great film quality, lots of special features. So that's my number 4 pick. My number 3 pick is Beetlejuice, and this is another massive upgrade from the Blu-ray. This looks so good. The colors, you know, Beetlejuice, Tim Burton film, really colorful movie, and the colors popped so well on this image. I couldn't even imagine this movie looking as good as it did. And I remember watching this shit on like a VHS recorded from a telecast. That's how old I am. Those are a lot of old school words for you young viewers. A VHS on a telecast. But yeah, this is a great package, great movie. I love that slipcover. That slipcover gets me feeling all type of ways. But yeah, that's my number 3 pick. My number 2 pick is my favorite film of the year, Possessor. This movie, I've literally mentioned it in 3 videos now. My last 3 videos have all said something about Possessor. I am not shitting you guys when I tell you how good this movie is. Let me tell you why this movie is awesome. Because it fucking rules. No, let me actually elaborate. This movie... Okay, so usually like when I see a new movie, I'm like, I really like that. It was really good. But you know how there's those one movies that just come around and they really like... They just like capture your imagination and you're just like, wow, what a great story... well told. That's how I felt about Possessor. Possessor just has such a good and unique story, well told. And the acting is good. The special effects drove me fucking crazy. Some of the visuals in this movie look like the coolest 9 Inch Nails video you ever fucking saw. It is so good. So good. I can't say this enough. If you haven't seen Possessor, watch Possessor. Watch the uncut version. If you don't have the stomach for some crazy stuff, maybe watch the R-rated version. But Possessor uncut, oh my god, it's big. Okay, so here's what it's about. Okay, we all know what those other movies about. I don't have to explain, but I gotta explain Possessor to you. This is gonna be your hook to make you go see it. So Possessor is basically these people who plug into other people's consciousness, and graphically plug in, I might add. The opening shot of this movie is somebody plugging the fucking diode into their head, and immediately right away I was like, I don't think I'm gonna eat popcorn right now. I'm not feeling that. But they plug into people's consciousness, have them carry out and commit crimes, then kill themselves, and then simulation over, kind of a thing. But it's kind of cool if you think about it in a commentary sense, you know, like when we have like these mass shootings and tragedies and stuff, the people who always commit those tragedies, you always hear the family say like, oh, it was so crazy, you know, like I never pictured that they would do that, and like, you know, they weren't like that and stuff like that. And so this movie, I'm not saying it's like a political propaganda piece in any sense of the word. It's not political at all, but it kind of taps into that. Like, I would not be surprised if Brandon Cronenberg said like, that's what inspired me, was the way when people go on these crazy rampages and stuff like that, all of a sudden they're not them. That's what this kind of movie, or that's what this movie kind of like tackles and uses that as a springboard. You know, like, what if people who are carrying out these things weren't actually them? And so it's a great like sci-fi. I want to say, I saw it marketed as like horror, but I wouldn't call it horror because it's not like scary. It's more like a disturbing sci-fi film. But yeah, I've gone on long about it enough. This movie is absolutely spectacular. Earns my highest recommendation. Please do yourself a favor and watch Possessor. And that is my number 2 pick. My number 1 pick, I've talked about before on this channel, is the Blue Underground release of Zombie. This picture quality threw down and blew my ass away. It is so good. Even from the Blu-ray, the uptick in quality is amazing. It's so good. This movie is a testament to like smaller, more boutique Blu-ray sellers like Blue Underground and stuff. They have the true time and resources, unlike a Universal who's cranking out, 10, 20, 30, new discs a year. Blue Underground, they're doing 1, 2, 3, and 4 maybe. And so they have the time to put together all these special features, a meticulous package, amazing film quality. And for people who hate grain, you're not going to have a good time here, but I love film grain. And this movie is the perfect example of what you want from an old movie, the way it should look on a 4K disc. It has the grain that lets you know, like, yeah, this is an older film, but you can see all the detail through that grain, and it's a fine, detailed grain. So, looks amazing. If you haven't seen this movie, it's an absolute horror classic. If you want to call yourself a horror fan of any kind, you should at very least see this movie, preferably have it in your collection. It's so good. I can't understate that. But yeah, they really pulled it all out for the special features on this, and it's a 2-disc set. You have your feature on 4K and then a Blu-ray disc that is just the special features. So there's no way to watch this movie other than 4K in this package. But it's kind of nice, because sometimes you go out and you buy a Blu-ray and then you end up buying the 4K and the 4K comes with a Blu-ray and it's like, oh shit, why'd I double dip? But this is it's a reason to double dip. It's just that 4K disc. This is a little pricier. I think it was like $40. But for a movie like this, a classic I would consider, and for its presentation and amount of Blu-rays, I think it's on the level of a Criterion where it's like, yeah, it's expensive, but as a collector, this is the definitive version of the film that I would like to own. So yeah, that's my top 5 4K discs of 2020. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you Star Wars fans aren't too mad. I'm just having a goof. I'm having a laugh, a gaff, a guffaw, if you will. But yeah, so that's my video. Thank you so much for watching. Yeah. Bye, sisters.